will be standing side by side with every public sector worker in this country, because I'll tell you what, there are no jobs. Anybody who believes that the private sector is going to come to the aid of the public sector is living in a dream world. Because let me tell you, industry has been decimated. It's been absolutely crippled by this government. And I'll tell you another thing as well. In the future that these people want to create for you, where your children are exploited, where they get sent to a factory which will have no health and safety, for the first time in a generation, our children face the point that when they go into a workplace, they will be at more risk than we ever were. And that's if they get a job. That's if they get a job. Because let's be clear, if there are no jobs, where did he work? Oh, well, they've come up with a great idea. It's called workfare. Good enough for our kids, but not good enough for theirs.
Yes.
Let's send a message clear today from this march, and let's make it clear to the people of the streets of Manchester. We are here defending your right to shop, your right to have a children's future, your right to have an NHS, your right to have an education that not only they go to junior school and senior school, but are able to go to college as well. So to get a university education. That's why we're here today. And let's make no mistake about it, when they tell us there's no alternative. There's always an alternative. In the Second World War, they told us, let's build a health service. Let's get rid of poverty. And I'll tell you what they did, because someone mentioned it before, they imposed a 98% tax on the rich. They didn't leave the country, and even if they did, we didn't miss them, because although the country was broke, we built a health service, we built homes, and we created full employment. That's what we did, because that's what we was committed to. And I'll tell you this, when they plan for war, because they do plan for war, they never say we've got no money to build a bomb. So why is it, during the times of peace, we could not find money to make sure our kids get into education, to make sure that not only when they're educated they become NHS workers in the National Health Service, because it's our health service and we're not giving it up for no one. And I'll tell you this as well, let's congratulate the people from UK Uncut.
Yes.
Look at the work that they have done today. Outside Starbucks, occupying them, taking them over. Look, the police security service, taxpayer funded security, but yet they're not paying any tax. Absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling. But that's because of the ambassadors of the rich. That's who they are. They're the ambassadors of the rich, this government. They're not interested in us. They're only interested in the millionaires. So let's make a commitment. Let's make a commitment that when you go home, you tell your family there is an alternative. And that alternative's been there before. At the end of the Second World War, even though we had a country with no money, even though we had a country that was bombed to bits, we rebuilt it. And we can go and rebuild it again. But what we've got to do is make sure those bastards at the top pay their tax and pay a fair tax. And not only that, not only pay a tax, but make sure that money is redistributed amongst the people. Because I'll tell you what, this fall, there is a lot of money about. There is enough money for all of us. And if you put a 20% wealth tax on it, they'd pay off the national debt. 20% on there, instead of taking all the money off those at the bottom. Comrades, our union supports a general strike. And I stand up here today as the national president of the Bakers Union and call on the TUC to call that strike. And I'll tell you what, we don't need a Balem. We don't need a Balem. We just need them to name the day. And let's take to the streets. Let's unite the working people, and let's make sure that we bring these bastards down.
Hey!
Just to